Hello and welcome to my meander for this week. On Wednesday I travelled with others from Fredericton to Miramichi along the road through Doketown. It can be a beautiful drive during the warmer months, but in the winter there is a harsher beauty to be seen. At any time of year it's important for us to keep watch for animals coming out of the woods or even people's yards. But this week, for some reason, it was a little busier than usual. We saw 2 deer in different places, one of which crossed in front of us. There was a huge moose standing by the side of the highway. But I saw something I've never seen before. A coyote. He or she hopped over the guardrail in front of us and sauntered 2/3 of the way across the road, then turned round and sauntered back to where it had come from. Perhaps the snow and particularly the ice are making it harder for animals to forage in the woods. Or maybe it's normal for them to be in those places at this time of year. I know very little about the habits of wildlife, but I was surprised to see so much so close. This series of incidents made me think. Each of the animals is fundamentally the same: 2 eyes, a nose, 2 ears, 4 legs, and so on. Yet they are all different, from the massive ungainly moose to the skittish deer and the stealthy coyote. As with all creatures, each one has its role to play in the various ecosystems which they inhabit. We may or may not like them as species, but each one is important. Debbie and I have been recently watching the remake of the classic TV series All Creatures Great and Small, based on the semi-autobiographical books written by the late Yorkshire veterinarian Alf White, who is better known by his pen name James Herriot. I know there's a good deal of romantic whimsy in these books, but they take us back to a time and place where there was a greater understanding of the natural relationships within creation than perhaps most of us have today. In the liturgical life of the Church, we're reminded of these connections. There are the obvious festivals such as Thanksgiving, known as harvest throughout many parts of the world, but others are less well known. Today, as I'm writing, is February the 2nd. For the various groundhogs trying to see their shadow, it's their very special day. But in the Church's year, it's the day when we recall the presentation of Jesus in the temple. It marks the return of light, a symbol of protection and prosperity. It also recalls Jesus, the glory of Israel, and a light to the Gentiles. We hear this declared in Simeon's song. Lord, now lettest thou thy servant depart in peace, according to thy word. For mine eyes have seen thy salvation, which thou hast prepared before the face of all people, to be a light to lighten the Gentiles, and the glory of thy people Israel. Throughout the year, there is a connectedness, which at times we miss. Once again, thank you for being here for this meander. I trust that God will bless you over the next days and hope that you'll join me again next time.